social media addiction and screen time during this speech. Let's first look at why do we spend so much time. Then secondly, let's look at why can't we resist it. And finally, we'll look at some viable solutions to the whole problem. So let's first try to address on why we spend so much time. For that, I'll have to take you all back to year 2007 when Steve Jobs introduced iPhone. He created it, he was proud of his product, and he urged the whole world to use it. But when a New York journalist questioned him about his own kids using it, his response was they rarely used it or never used it. This is true with many of the tech giants who today cautiously choose schools for their kids that introduces technology or gadgets at a very later point in time in their life, right? So all these folks, they were huge advocates or big advocates of this technology and gadgets, but they were aware of the certain dangers associated with all these technologies. There is an app called Moment that captures our social media and screen time. And when they ran data analytics, it was found that, an average American spends 3 to 4 hours in a given day using technology, which roughly translates to 15 years on of your average lifetime. So this is a huge number. And if we try to link it to a psychological concept called propinquity, this means that the things nearest to you influences you the most, right? So take me, for example. I sleep with my cell phone, I get up with it, I walk with it. I can't remember, maybe when I sleep, I don't stay with my cell phone. If that's the case with me, I can't imagine the teenagers today. They are looking at this world through their cell phones, right? To which there is a famous experiment that was conducted with a bunch of teenagers. They were asked to choose between losing one of the bone in their hand or lose their cell phone. A staggering 46% chose to lose their bone over losing their cell phone. So why is it so difficult? Why can't we resist, right? To explain that, there are two huge contributors. Let me first talk about the first contributor. There is a concept called stopping cues. So take, for example, when you read a book, right? When you read a book or a newspaper, you get to the end of a chapter, which is a natural stopping cue that prompts you to stop. Same with, when you read a newspaper, an end of an article is a definitive stopping cue. This was purposefully eradicated. And when you browse today, the auto cues, they are all built so that you never stop. This is similar to the casino concept where they dim the light so that you lose the sense of time, right? That's one main contributor. The second main contributor is the whole rewarding system. When we go post on LinkedIn or say Facebook, the whole rewarding system or the likes or the positive comments you get from it, there is a natural dopamine rush, right? This is a variable reward. It's not a fixed reward that we are getting back. Humans tend to get attached to the variable rewards more because it's very exciting, right? Uncertainty is very engaging. So these two contributors together make it entirely irresistible for us to stop. But the implications are pretty bad. It's psychological, financial, physical, right? And so when we go ahead and finally try to look up some solutions, it's really not an easy one, right? There is no magic bullet. It is an uphill battle. But we can go cold turkey in today's world where we can completely evade technology. But we can be more mindful about it. So when we talk about mindfulness, I'll take myself for example. When I take the elevator from second to sixth floor, often at my workplace, but I tend to stay with my cell phone rather than talking with the person standing next to me. If I look at the reason, it could be sheer boredom, or it could be me being very anxious, or me not able to strike the conversation with the stranger. So if we try to address the root cause and inhabit mindfulness, it will be much more easier for us to get away from this digital world. For example, we can set some ground rules. or even set specific goals like having tech-free dinners, or don't touch your phone first 30 minutes or the last 1 hour before you go to sleep, right? So these are some of the goals that we can set for ourselves. Let's take an example of me binge watching. I can probably set up an alarm after an hour in the next room so that when the episode comes to an end, I'm forced to walk to the next room and switch it off. Then we are introducing a natural stopping point that prompts us to stop. It could be same with the Facebook, right? When you post to LinkedIn or Facebook, it's really us worried about what others think about us rather than the whole concept of just posting. There is a concept called behavioral architecture. We decide how we see the world and perceive. So it has, the more we train our more we educate ourselves, more we can train our mind to talk ourselves out of it. So realistically, we did look at why we got into where we are today, why we are digital slaves, and some ways of mindfully getting a digital detox. I hope to have provided some food for thought today. Thank you all for listening.